Hey guys, this is Brian over at the Gunpoint. We're here today. I've got with me Tracy Guns.
Hi, everybody.
And we've also got Ace Luciano as a special guest today.
Welcome,
A very
Ace.
special guest.
All right. Well, a couple things. We're going to talk today about technology and training. But before we get there, we've kind of got some breaking news on what's going on at the NRA. I don't know how many of you have seen, but 3 NRA board members have resigned from the organization. Ace and I, we were talking a little bit about this. What are your thoughts on this, Ace, first of all?
You know, the NRA is in such disarray right now. It's really concerning. And quite frankly, right now is the time that we least need controversy and issues. Right now, everybody knows, there's no secret that one side of the political aisle is directly targeting our livelihood. They're directly targeting our rights. They're directly targeting our guns. And I'm really worried that now with this division at the NRA, there's going to be, you know, a house divided cannot stand. So I think when we, I don't know. I don't know what to say about the NRA. These 3 guys, I've met and spoken with 2 of the 3 of them. I assume the third is exactly the same. And we need them there. I mean, the 3 guys that resigned are the 3 guys that I would actually pick given my first number 1, number 2, and number 3 choices for directors at the NRA, and now they're gone. So it was kind of like, I don't know if there's something bigger here. I'm hoping we're going to see something different and new or exciting or maybe a revelation. But boy, if this was any corporation in America, if there was even a hint of impropriety of any kind, of anything, anybody doing something wrong, the swamp that has swallowed up the NRA must be very deep. That's all I can say.
I can tell you that a number of us are disappointed to see people leave. You know, you always hate to see that, right? But particularly because members of the NRA have spent the last few years trying hard to get some new blood, some new life, and some transparency into the NRA. These people, these board members were hopefully going to be that, right? That was going to be that opportunity for them. And then they resigned. Where's the voice now? Where's the voice of our members? And I'm hoping that we're going to see some of the people in the industry step up and say, we want some transparency. Let's see an audit. Let's see whatever we need to do to make sure that we can feel comfortable that the money that we're giving over is being used the way it's supposed to, it's being used appropriately, and that we can be comfortable because we need, I agree, to unite together in this 2020 election, especially when you're looking at the clown fest that happens every time the Democrats have a debate.
Yeah, we'll see it. I mean, we'll see the transparency because it's the New York has filed suit, District of Columbia has filed suit, and now you're talking Justice Department is going to be looking at this. Like this is the IRS is involved. I mean, if there's anything here, it will come out. I mean, it doesn't matter what's, and the question is, do we want that ticking time bomb to explode right about, I don't know, September, October 2020? Or do we want that all pushed out of the way now and have these guys just go away? I mean, let's face it, the big issue here, the issue everybody dances around is Wayne LaPierre has run the NRA for years, and whether he's done a good job or not isn't the point. I'm of the belief that he's done a good job at the NRA for what I know. It turns out there's a lot of things at the NRA I didn't know were going on. And I'll give you a great example. One of the guys there, Tim Knight, one of the guys that resigned, Tim is like a members director, right? He got on the ballot as a write-in, and he was kind of an up-and-comer, and, he did a lot when Colorado's gun things were going on. He is an on-the-ground guy who goes where the problems are and is a grassroots, feet on the ground, get your hands dirty, get stuff done. Now, I don't know about you, but that's the kind of NRA I want. Mm-hmm. Man, I don't want guys like, no, I realize I'm the only guy here wearing a suit, but I don't want suits and tie guys right in my NRA. I mean, I want guys that, great, you can wear a suit and tie to do business like I do, but man, at the end of the day, I want to be able to sit down with you and you're just another guy like me. And just like politicians in America who have gotten so far from what they were ever designed to be, right? We were a country of farmers serving as politicians. Now we've become career politicians, and we look at the NRA, and I can't help but equate them with these lifetime politicians. I mean, come on, we need new blood. Someone else needs to be in there. And I don't know if that...
I guess this is the opportunity for that.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's, they've circled the wagons, and that's the problem. There's the nominating committee is surrounded by a wall, of supporters. There are so many directors that you can't possibly have the votes. And basically what they've done is they've stonewalled there. And guys, I can't reiterate it enough. I'm a life member of the NRA for 30 years. I'm an endowment member for almost a decade. I regularly donate to the NRA, and they will not get another dime of my money until this is straightened out. Not because I believe the NRA is bad. And those of you out there saying that, and those of you saying the NRA needs to go away, stop that. If you own a gun, you need to be a member of the NRA. But you need to make the leadership of the NRA and the directors of the NRA aware of your opinion and what you believe. Because what's happening is everybody complains. They complain on social media. They complain, and they have these things in the mainstream news, and everyone is dismissing it. This is a big deal. The fact that this is in the mainstream news is a big deal, and these are employees inside the NRA leaking this information because they're concerned. That's also a very big deal.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's no question there are concerns and there needs to be something to happen. I'm hoping, like I said before, that we as an industry, that we as gun owners will decide to step up and do something about this. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. And that's what I want to do is anybody who's listening to the podcast, anybody who follows us at thegunpoint.com, let us know what your thoughts are on this. You know, text me, DM me, whatever you can do. Let me know, and we'll get this thing taken care of. Because I want to know, what are your ideas? And then let us push them forward to some people. You push them forward to some people and see if we can make some changes. That's what needs to happen. We need to really rise up and make something happen here. Because at the end of the day, the NRA is nothing without money. And so I think the one way you can take care of this is by saying, hey, look, guys, we're going to withhold money from you until we get this whole thing straightened up. And when somebody gets ready to do that, I'd love to have them on the show. We talk about that, about the plan that can be executed to really get that done. In the meantime, let's see what happens. I mean, we're following the news. We'll keep you guys posted. Let's talk a little bit about training aids. Couple of things. I mean, how many of you have been to the range? And I've been to the range a bunch. You guys have all been to the range a bunch. And you get that kind of douchey guy that shows up, right? And while he's there, he's got all these really cool guns. And he shows up. He's all right. I got all my gear. And he puts it out on the table. And he says, "Oh, you want to shoot it?" Lets everybody else shoot it. And then he ends up walking away. And he never even shoots the stuff, right? And so you're like, wait a minute here. That guy had a lot of fun stuff, but he never shot it. And you realize the guy probably didn't know what the heck he was doing,
Right.
right?
Well, I mean, in his defense, I've done that many times for friends, not to show off, just to let my friends shoot my guns, and then by the time that's all done. But I digress. So
there are a lot of people that just, I simply think, don't understand or don't know how to shoot. They spend more money on fun toys than they do on learning how to do those, how to play with those toys and how to properly shoot.
Shooting's easy. That's the problem. Like, you could never go a whole year, not run a single, quarter mile, and then do a marathon. That's just, it's not possible, right? And yet I can go to the gun store today, buy a gun, pick it up, throw some ammo in it, and I can be shooting on the range this afternoon and probably hit something.
You can pull the trigger.
Right, yeah, right.
I'm going to have to argue with you on that a little bit of argument there. I mean, you might be able to shoot a target, but you're not going to consistently shoot the same shot without that practice and training.
Right. No kidding. But like, it's, people are used to, I mean, let's face it, everyone thinks that, you pick up a video game and, hey, this is easy. Look, I put the dot on it and it goes away.
Well, let's talk about video games for a second, because one of the things that I have found is that you've got this whole generation of people that have learned how to shoot, and I'm going to use that in quotes here. I'm air quoting for those of you that are listening here. Learn how to shoot, or learn how to learn more about firearms through first-player shooter games or whatever else they're doing. And transitioning that group of people over into shooting, giving them some type of experience they can have with that, I think is something we're going to need in order to attract the new generation into the firearms. And one of the companies that I think is doing this really well, and I want to talk a little bit about it, is this Train Shot company. Have you guys seen this device? This is
it's cool stuff. It's cool
haven't gotten my hands on it yet because someone went to the range without me, but but it looks very interesting and I've checked it out. So
don't feel bad. They keep telling me mine's in the mail along with the check.
Hey, at least you have one in the mail. I don't have one yet.
What I want to show you is this is the unit that they have, okay? And it's a pretty cool setup right here. You take this unit, and it's got brackets on it back here, right? So you can go ahead and take the brackets, and I'm going to reach behind me for a second and pull up one of the targets, right? So this target, as you can see, has got these different segments that come down on it. Boom, 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 like this. Well, that reaches in and it touches the back of this bracket, goes in like that, and then you've got your unit that's sitting on top of it. Now that unit syncs up to Bluetooth, right? And so it can tell you where you hit on the target, and it gives you live feedback to your phone or your device. I'm going to show you. So I've got, for example, I shot this target right here the other day. So you see how this kind of looks? It's kind of got this different areas, part of the target there. I went out and was shooting
You
at
missed.
it on it. I did.
There's no holes in this target.
No holes in this.
That's how I
particular
know
target.
you shot that target. There's not a single hole in it.
Okay, I didn't shoot this target. I
Oh,
shot
okay.
this type of target. Here we go. But one of the things that it does, it goes over to your phone. So if you take a look at your phones, guys, you've got an app that corresponds to this and Bluetooth over. So I can later on, after the fact now, go in and listen to see how I was hitting and where I was hitting. And it'll actually show you the round. So if you look at this, it's actually showing where I hit on the target, the sequence that I was going. There's a pause where I was missing some stuff, coming back into it, and it matches across the target. And I just got to see exactly where I hit, and I can go back and watch it at any point in time. I can see what my splits were. I can see my total seconds were. You can do that for the history on any one of these targets.
Wait. So the sound effect.
The sound effect. It made it sound like I was hitting
Steel,
yeah.
but you're
Yeah.
hitting cardboard.
I'm hitting
That is
cardboard.
impressive.
So for those of you that like sound effects, right?
Right.
There you go. But it's a fun way of going about things. And what I think about it is that I can go into the range with this thing, and I can challenge somebody else across the country. Now this is where I get into the video game aspect of it.
Ooh, I like that. I'm across the country. We should do that.
So you and
First,
I.
you'll have to get one in the mail to me.
I'm going to Florida in 2 weeks, so I could take one if I get one in the mail too.
Well,
I
let's
could
talk
take
to the guys over
one.
at Train Shot. Let's see if we can get those guys at Train Shot to get you some stuff over.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to make a call to Train Shot.
All right. Well,
I think I might know somebody there.
Yeah.
I think I'll make that call as soon as I walk out the door here.
You
As
should.
a matter of fact, I owe him a call, but sorry, Walker.
So let's but let's talk a little bit about what you can do with this thing, and that's what I think is going to be fun. It's going to attract the video game audience. Is I can challenge you, and you're in Arizona.
I am.
I'm up here in Nevada, and I don't have to drive the distance to be able to go shoot with you. You and I can sync up, and I can shoot, and you can shoot, and we can challenge each other to different games that are on here, different, who can do the fastest, get most accurate, timing, whatever we want to do, and then it sends it back and forth live to each other. I think this is a cool way to be able to challenge your buddies all across the country, or even the guy you don't know. Somebody in another range gets in there, and you can talk. You imagine texting back and forth and talking trash back and forth to each other, and then you challenge each other and see who can really make it happen.
You know what I think the coolest thing about this is you might be able to do something like this with an app. I've seen other apps that do this, but you got to go to a range and you have to score it and you have to put everything in back and forth. This is great. You live in Nevada, I live in Arizona. One of the greatest things about where we live, there's a lot of open space.
Yeah.
Like you can walk out in the desert and set this target up, and you and I literally can be shooting at the same time if we choose, right? 2 states away from each other, or we could be shooting with somebody from Uzbekistan that's got a target out in the middle of their desert, right?
Yeah.
And have that feedback right away and back and forth. And I think that's really cool.
You could leave a challenge for somebody too. So let's say that you want to shoot in the morning and I'm shooting in the afternoon, but we're competing against each other. You go ahead and shoot your rounds. You say, beat it. Next thing you know, I've got to come in and blah, 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 I go out and shoot it. I send it back to you. Okay, I did. Or I didn't, or whatever, and we can challenge, and so you can put each other against.
Now, I'm an honest guy, but I got to look at this and I go, okay, beat it. What's to prevent, I inherently don't trust attorneys. Okay. So if I'm shooting against Brian, who's an attorney, and he's here, what's to prevent you from walking up to 2 feet away from the target, going bang, 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 bang. Oh, I got 5 X's. You lose.
You could timestamp a video.
Coming from the guy in the
You
suit.
could set up a video. I know, right? I don't know. Maybe the shady guy's the one in the suit.
When in doubt, always pick the guy in the suit as the shady guy. That's a good plan.
Tracy,
Brian doesn't have any slick back hair. Who's got the slick back hair here?
Nope.
I don't have enough hair to slip it back. It's part of the problem. But so Tracy, you've recently gone and done some training. Tell us a little bit about the training that you just went through a couple weekends ago. Yeah.
This past weekend,
Yeah.
it was very hot. It was about 108 out there on the range, and we were there 10 hours the first day and 6 or 7 the second day, and it was AK training, and a lot of it was actually dry fire. It wasn't even live fire. So I would say I ran through probably 400 rounds in 2 days.
Wow.
It's not very much, right? So no, but the way that Dimitri taught, it was Center T Official is him on Instagram. The way he taught, number one, he doesn't speak English, So that was kind of legit.
Guns are universal. That's a nice thing.
It was kind of legit. But we had translators, fortunately.
And this is all shooting AKs.
This is all shooting
so it's
AKs.
Legit. He's from
yeah,
Russia.
Straight up Russian.
There you go.
Yeah, it
We're
was good. And I think he teaches special forces and military out there. So, but a lot of the training, like I said, was dry firing, and it was just getting the manipulations down. And I'm going to be competing at Red October this year for k-var.
Cool.
And getting those manipulations down was very important to me because I've shot an AK before. But actually continually doing it so it becomes a repetition and it becomes, habit. That was what was important to me. So that's what I took away most from the class.
And I want to give a shout out to the guys over at Rifle Dynamics. They're putting on this Red October.
Yep.
This is a phenomenal event. I've been to it a number of years. And this event is amazing. They're bringing it to Las Vegas this year.
Thank God.
I know. So
that's kind of convenient, right?
Right. Yeah, it's right
Although
here.
Vegas is convenient for everybody. That's why they bring
really
SHOT Show
is.
here every year. Everyone can come.
And there's plenty of hotels to accommodate, right? I mean, so everybody can come, everybody can have a great time.
Yeah.
And I think they've already filled up on the number of shooters that they have.
They're over.
Oh, yeah. And
They're
so,
over.
but you can come, you can participate, and I say participate, you can come, you can watch, you can check out all the events. You'll see some of your favorite Instagrammers there. It's always a great event. Those guys at Rifle Dynamics know what they're doing. And so
I've
give them
talked
kudos.
to a ton of people coming out for it. Even if they don't shoot the competition, people come out and see all the vendors and so on and so forth. And and Rifle Dynamics puts it on every year. And they actually hosted the class I was in this past weekend too. So I got to spend a bunch of time with Jim Fuller and Mark and a bunch of the other guys that work over at Rifle Dynamics.
Great guys,
So
great
cool.
guys. They do great work. And one of the things that I really like is the fact that they work with the Arsenal rifles, which are some of the best AKs across the platform. So they do a good job. They take that Arsenal rifle and they take it up as many notches as you're willing to pay for, I think. So
Yeah, right. your options are limited by only your budget and your imagination, right?
Right.
Or your imagination and your budget. So
Well, let's talk about another training aid that I've seen out there that people have used, and this is good. You talked about dry firing a bit, and that's one of the things that sometimes you can't get out to the range. You may weather permitting, whatever it may be, or just simply the range is too far away, and you just want to practice after work.
Or it's just too hot.
Too hot.
it's too hot. Yeah.
I can tell you that I sit in my office and I have one of these set up on a device in my office, and so while I'm on
With
phone
the door
calls-
closed?
with the door closed, on a phone conference, sometimes I may use one of these as
We don't bring that out during deposition time.
No,
folks.
not depositions, guys. But
Someone
this is great.
walks
I don't
in
know if
the
you played
door.
with this Mantis. This is the Mantis system right here. You can attach it onto your firearm. It attaches over to your app, and then as you dry fire, it actually tells you where you would have hit on your target and gives you feedback to say, oh, the reason that you're pulling to the left, pushing to the right, pulling to the right, pushing to the left, whatever it would be for me because I'm right-handed. But either way, it tells you how you're doing and gives you some feedback immediately, which is a phenomenal opportunity. I mean, you may not be getting the live recoil on stuff, but this gives you an opportunity to really work on that trigger pull and your fundamental basics. That's
I
what
have
it's all
played
about.
around with one of those before for sure.
And I know I've seen him. I've seen him at the NRA show. I've seen him
All
over
the
SHOT
time,
Show. People are using them. Companies are using them to display and talk about some of their firearms. So they're great. They're great training aids. The final thing I want to talk about today, because we're talking about training, technology, the great things that we're seeing out there to give you guys opportunities to practice, because I'm not saying you're bad shooters. I'm saying that we can all improve. And particularly because we're out there at the range and we know a few guys. Maybe you want to pass along some of this information to those particular guys that need to improve a lot, right? But let's make sure that when we're shooting, and it's fun. And this is the other thing. The guys today gave me one of these. It's these Firebird 65, these self-adhesive detonating targets. Have you gone out and shot these yet?
So it's been too hot. Dave's all like, I have those Firebird targets. I was all, it's 108 degrees outside. I don't want to blow up
It's
anything.
not
that
108
makes
at 5 a.m.
Makes it hotter. I know. I got to get out there early. No, so I have not had a chance to use them, but they sound very interesting.
I've only seen a video, but they look fun.
They look
fun.
They look fun.
I mean, how can you not enjoy sticking something out and watching it go boom?
Bang.
Right.
There's a reason I go out to the Big Sandy every year, and that's because they have lots of dynamite, tannerite, and all kinds of other explosives that go off. It's just a fun place to be.
I was invited to that event last year by you, and it was my first time there, and my earplugs, I think, were impacted in my ear, and I actually wore a lot. Sometimes I would even wear the muffs over it just because there's so much fire, and it's to watch that happen. I literally, when the sun went down and they started shooting all those rounds, I literally just sat there for about a minute watching it, and unbelievable. And then I tell you what it really did give me a great appreciation for is all of our brave men and women in uniform that don't do that for fun. Yeah. You know, they might be on the opposite side of that. And I go, holy cow, if I were out where we're shooting and I saw that coming in, man, I'd be a real terrified dude. I don't know how those guys do it every day, and God bless our men and women in uniform, but what an amazing event, the Big Sandy event. If you have not had a chance to go do that,
I'm going to go this year.
Get out and go do it. Even if you just do it once, you have to go and see that.
The Saturday night event was it's phenomenal.
Oh, it's amazing.
Fireworks, flamethrowers.
Yeah.
They've got Tannerite dynamite going out there, and then they've got guys with flare guns and all of the tracer rounds and the drones,
airplanes,
drones flying around that you shoot out of the air. They're all glowing up, so it looks like you're. I mean, frankly, that's your boogaloo, right? I mean, you got these things that look like alien ships going across as we're shooting them, right? So this is the.
Are you sure they're not grasshoppers?
Right now they could be, right?
It was an amazing experience, and it's funny you talk about fun and training. And you might not know this. Did you know I used to run some of the largest youth shooting events in the entire country?
I didn't realize
that. I did not know that.
Yeah, I did that. I also wrote a book. Can I get a shameless plug?
Go ahead. Go for it.
The book's called Guns the Right Way. It's published by Gun Digest Books. Oh. And there's a whole chapter in that book about keeping things fun.
Yeah. Because,
kids, like I'm an ADD adult. It's hard to keep my attention, right? But, man, you haven't worked hard until you've tried to keep the attention of 100 kids 7 to 12.
That does not sound fun.
Right? Especially around something like guns, because everybody's got to pay attention, right? So how do you get them to do it? You make things fun and things that go bang, things that will allow them to, I say play with, but obviously use a gun in a dry fire situation like the Mantis, and things that interact like a video game. Believe it or not, video games actually have a lot of positive things. And if my son's watching this, I didn't say that for you because you play your video game too much.
That's right.
But there are a lot of positive things for video game, and there are quite a few youth shooters whose games are elevated by some of these first-person shooter games. And I'm amazed at it. As a matter of fact, so amazed that...
Do you think it could be like situational awareness from those?
I think it's reaction time.
Yeah.
I think it's, because a lot of the games that we do in shooting now, like my big thing is not... Actually, I'm not a huge handgunner. I love shooting handgun. It's something that my goal this year is to train more, and I've been through a training course. And ironically, one of the things they said is the number one way to better your hits on target, work on your trigger pull.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
That's it. This is where right here.
Exactly.
Right
the grind. That's the grind for me. That's the grind. I don't want to do that, but now I can sit and do it in my office with my Mantis. It's kind of nice, It's not. I don't have to drag everything out to the range and go through it. I have to sit there and just be kind of ridiculous and rack the slide, bang, click, rack the slide, click. Now I get feedback. Now I know what's happening, right? So habits are created by repetition, and when you keep repeating something over and over that's slightly off, you perfect that habit slightly off.
Bad habit.
Right.
It becomes a bad habit, right? And that was one of the big things we had with kids was all the time. Like they have a little bad habit. We'd have to identify it and correct it right away. I wish they'd have had this stuff a decade ago when I was doing that. It would have made my life a lot easier.
Well, we're going to get some footage of us going out and playing with some of these things at some point in time. I guarantee you. Maybe it'll get cool off.
Yeah.
Because I can't get Tracy to go anywhere unless she's going to get it to cool off a little bit.
No. I can get up early. I have no problem with that. We can go out early.
But we're going to go play some of these things. I want to show you guys some of the stuff. We'll put it up on thegunpoint.com. Again, it's thegunpoint.com on the blog. We're going to do some reviews on each one of these products. You may have already seen some of the reviews on the Mantis and other things, but we'll be able to get some more stuff up for you. These are going to be some great opportunities. But get out and practice. Is there anything else I can say other than that? Get out, practice, have fun. That's what this is about, guys, is we want you to have fun, but be safe, know what you're doing. If you practice correct, you shoot correct, right? I mean, at the end of the day. So
unlike most other practice, like, man, when I was a kid growing up, I was in all these sports. Football practice sucked, right? There wasn't a part of football practice that I really enjoyed, right? But practicing with my gun, man, I don't mind that at all. Like practicing for hunting, I'm losing my headset here. practicing for hunting, that you go to the range, that's actually fun time.
Yeah.
So these all make things where you can basically extend your range time. That's what I look to do, because it is kind of difficult. I got to travel a little bit to my local range, if I don't want to shoot inside. So.
Well, let's do this. Let's see if we could issue a challenge to the guys. Hey, everybody go out, shoot whatever you're going to do. Try some of these products if you can. If you have other training aids, let us know what those are. We'd love to take a look at them, try them out ourselves, and then come over and see if you can challenge Tracy. Oh, not me, because you'll probably no. Okay,
right.
Come out to Red
Certainly
October.
not me.
Come out to Red October and check us out. We're gonna have a good time there, and we'd love to see you as well. This has been us from the Gunpoint. If you guys have any questions, check us out, gunpoint.com, on our blog, as well as you can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or any of the social media platforms. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate your time today.